What's the difference between this kill and this kill?
Last player standing.
At first glance, it's hard to tell. Now look at my eyes. On the left, I'm looking at my crosshair, and on the right, I'm looking at my minimap. While I did get the kill in both examples, the one where I'm looking at the minimap is key. For both examples, I heard my teammate and an enemy trade gunfire back sight. In the left example, I aimed towards back sight and spray randomly, hoping to get a pick, but in the right example, I know exactly where to look, making my chances of getting the kill much less random. This is a technique called Minimap refragging. In this video, we're going to talk about what settings to use to make this easier, how to execute the technique properly, and what situations call for its use. I'm Chill, and let's get into it. Alright, let's go over the minimap settings first. Head into general settings and scroll down to map. Select rotate and keep player centered. Minimap size maxed out and minimap zoom around 0.55. You can adjust this to be bigger or smaller, but you want to keep it somewhere between 0.5 and 0.6 so that it's not too small or gets cut off if you're at the edge of the map. The idea behind keeping your icon centered is that it's easier to quickly glance at your minimap and aim, since your icon will be in the same spot every time. If your player icon isn't centered, you will have to take extra time to locate your icon and then aim, which may be disorienting. Now, I understand that some of you may find this minimap too small, and ultimately it is preference. However, in solo queue, especially where you may not get all the info from your comms, being able to see the entire map is very important. If this minimap is too small, turning off keep player centered is a decent alternative option. Now let's talk about how to actually perform the minimap refrag. Just a quick note, this technique can also be applied to information gathering abilities like drones and cyphercam, but for this specific technique, we'll focus on player-to-player interactions. A good rule of thumb is to use this technique when a teammate is the first point of contact. To explain how to perform the minimap refrag, we'll break down the clip from the intro. When executing on the site, my jet dashes towards logs to swing on the Omen back sight. The Omen blocked his cross from plat to back sight. Since I'm behind the jet still C long, I can safely look at the minimap due to the fact that the jet cleared the front half of C. As jet peeks back sight and spots Omen, I see him attempting to cross behind his smoke on the minimap. I now have a way more precise line to spray compared to if I didn't check the minimap. Once I line up my icon by pre-aiming Omen, I look back at the smoke and spray how I normally would. You generally want to keep your eyes on the minimap until you start spraying so you can focus on the recoil control. It's definitely possible to continue looking at your minimap as you spray if you're really comfortable with this technique, but it has its pros and cons. One pro is that you can see if the enemy moved laterally while you are spraying and adjust accordingly, and one con is that you may lose accuracy while not looking at your crosshair. Both may require some practice before attempting in a ranked match. Now that we know how to do it, let's look at some examples of when to use it. There's a variety of ways this technique can be used, and it heavily depends on the situation. Here are some typical scenarios. Shooting through smokes using teammates' line of sight of the enemy as recon. I showed the first example on attack, but here's a defensive example. Let's say you're playing defense A on bind. You're playing back sight and your teammate is U-haul. The attackers smoke mid-sight and push out of showers. Your teammate is watching the cross from showers to sight and sees the attacker coming out. Moving through a choke point while following behind a teammate. In this clip, jet dashes out of the Omen smoke onto sight as I check minimap and see that an enemy is in the shroud position. I pre-aim that enemy and get the pick. And last, crossfires during post plant or site holds. In this example, we are in a post plant on B site. We know the enemy defender is flanking long, and my teammate is taking first contact by jiggle peeking long. As my teammate sees the jet, I peek and we crossfire them. Even if my teammate fights before I peek, I can easily peek as the fight begins and I have a free kill.
Last player standing.
Moral of the story is use your minimap more. So much value is lost by staring at your crosshair during times when it's unnecessary to do so. Here are some questions to ask yourself in different situations. Is my teammate the first point of contact? Look at the minimap. Is my teammate pushed through smoke fighting an enemy on the other side? Minimap. Am I in a post-plant crossfire setup with my teammate? Minimap. Your whole personality may revolve around your name, but stop staring at that crosshair that reminds you of her and look at the big picture, or mini picture, and the right one will walk into your crosshairs. And that's going to be it for this one. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me next. Subscribe for more guides like this one, and if you need some more, I got you covered right here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.